Now, Central Oregon's local alert weather with Chief Meteorologist Bob Shaw.
Good Friday morning, 20 minutes past the hour. Hurricane Zeta, now a post-tropical cyclone, left behind damage and uncertainty in its path from the Gulf Coast all the way into the Atlantic coast. At least 6 people have died and more than 2 million lost power. Nadia Romero reports.
After making landfall in southeast Louisiana Wednesday night as a strong Category 2 hurricane, Zeta tore a path from the Gulf to the Atlantic, killing at least 6 people and leaving more than 2 million in the dark. High winds toppling power lines and trees across the region, crushing homes and cars.
We heard this real loud snap and then just crash.
And blocking roads, stopping drivers in their tracks.
Well, I'm not going to be able to make it to my destination to pick up a load and make a living.
Just 5 days before the election, power outages impacting several early voting sites from Louisiana to Georgia.
We've got an election coming up on Tuesday. So we need to make sure we get the polling places restored.
While in North Carolina, high winds forcing President Trump to postpone a Thursday night campaign rally.
Bad weather, the wind was terrible.
As residents also contended with flooded streets.
Every road was blocked.
And homes.
Got up about 6:30, everything was still in the banks. By 7:30, it started coming out in the yards.
Nearing the end of a record-breaking hurricane season, people across the region grateful to have made it through yet another storm.
But I guess it's just the grace of God, we are all okay.
As communities come together to pick up the pieces.
What I want to say to the people that have lost so much is really just simply, we care. People care.
I'm Nadia Romero reporting.
Well, this is a look at the current status of that post-tropical cyclone now as it makes its way off the eastern seaboard into the Atlantic. It ran into a lot of cold air coming out of Canada, and from Albany now clear out to Boston. They've had some morning snow associated with that. Won't be too long before that is out of the region. Here in Central Oregon, we're waking up to partly cloudy skies this morning. Also looking at a pretty easy commute. Sisters has one of the warmest temperatures that we've seen for a while. We've had just a little bit of an inversion there and has locked some warm air right down to the surface, so we're in good shape. Apart from New England, the rest of the nation is in pretty good shape, with the possible exception of western Washington that got some heavy rain and thunderstorms this morning. Now, the tail end of that is just making it through the northwestern corner of the state. Portland bracing for some rain. That'll have moments when it's fairly heavy, but it should move through fairly quickly. Doesn't look like this is going to get much farther south than Salem, maybe Corvallis, as it works its way through. Central Oregon, our future track model shows those clouds building in and then dissipating fairly quickly. Our chance of seeing any rain out of that almost zero. By the time we get into this evening and overnight tonight, we're going to see this clear, and that's going to leave us with a weekend that's actually going to be quite sunny. You may get a puff of a cloud or two that'll come through as a result, but overall this is going to be a pretty easy system to get out of our direction. 79 at Roberts Field, 77 at the Bend Airport. Those were the highs yesterday. We're going to knock in the neighborhood of 10 to 15 degrees off of those temperatures for today. It's part of that storm coming through. You wouldn't know that to look at thermometers right now, but we just don't warm as much as we have over the last couple of days. Most of us low 20s to mid 30s. We have a couple of spots that have seen that bit of an inversion, and it's hugged some of that cool air or warm air into some of those pockets. Not much wind right now. We have a couple spots that have been a little gusty. Everybody from Bend north will have a shot at seeing some pretty gusty winds. In some areas, those gusts will be as high as 20 to 30 miles per hour. Highs today will be in the low to mid 60s, and with the winds that pop up in some areas, it'll feel cooler than that. But keep in mind that our average for the state is 58 degrees. Overnight lows tonight, cool once again. Most of us will be scattered through the low to mid 20s with a couple of spots that'll be a little warmer, but expect just about everybody at or below freezing overnight tonight. Now, the next 2 or 3 nights are going to be fairly cool. We're going to see sub-freezing temperatures along the way. Look for low to mid 60s through the weekend, so pretty pleasant conditions this weekend, and we will see conditions staying pleasant going into next week. Halloween looks pretty nice, and don't forget, Sunday night, you need to turn those clocks back 1 hour before you go to bed.